Thank you for joining today's webinar. I'm Debbra McGrath, Principal Engineer, Technical Product Marketing, and your last Thursday's webinar host. Today, we're going to highlight our new product feedback application, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Irene Vieth, Senior Outbound Product Manager with our SPM team and one of our favorite last Thursday speakers. Irene will tell us all about this important new addition to our SPM capabilities, and I'll follow that with a brief demo of the product feedback application. We also have an upcoming event and some resources to share with you, and time permitting, we'll close with a brief Q&A. So let's begin with the safe harbor notice, just to point out that this presentation may contain forward-looking statements that reflect the current beliefs of ServiceNow. All are based on current information available, but actual results may differ materially, and they should not be relied upon in making purchasing decisions. So Irene, welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Deborah.
For me, one of the most significant challenges I'm aware of that I've personally experienced in the past is that for many organizations, there are so many different ways feedback is submitted. So how can product managers be sure they have access to all that feedback? And also because of this, do some customers simply not submit feedback because they might not be sure how to do it or the appropriate way to do so?
Yeah, so not having a single source of feedback is definitely an issue that product managers face, having to look through multiple channels to find that feedback. The other one is that capturing feedback is often a very manual process. So collecting and entering that feedback into the system can be really time consuming. And that's going to reduce product managers, time that they have to actually respond to that feedback. The third issue that we want to highlight here is that there's often no connection to stakeholder needs or to other strategic goals. So it's really difficult to see how that feedback that's coming in either aligns or conflicts with the work you have planned or other incidents that may come up or cases. And the last issue to highlight here is that it can be often difficult for product managers to make data-driven decisions based on that feedback. So what they really need to do is create a prioritized list based on clear data inputs to show the connection to the customer's needs. And that's where our new product feedback application comes in. So it's a single funnel for feedback to quickly analyze and accelerate the development of customer feedback or sort of customer-centric products. So this will help you collect and analyze that feedback in a single source. Using the one shown here, you can gain actionable insights to drive innovation. And this is all going to help increase customer satisfaction and engagement by showing customers that you're really responding to their feedback. Couple definitions here that are new tables with this application. The first is feedback. So feedback can be thought of as kind of the raw data from the source. So either from an internal or external source. And that feedback could be something like an insight, it could be a problem statement or issue, it could even be praise for the solution, or it could be a customer's idea for how to make things better. The feedback will be automatically generated from the idea portal. So anything that's submitted from the idea portal automatically will come into the product feedback application. And this could also be generated from emails, which I'll show you how in a second, or it could be manually created. A product idea can be thought of as kind of the further development of those product features from the feedback. So these could be product features, they could be solutions, they could be enhancements, and they could be connected to one or more feedback items. These product ideas can then be linked to other strategic planning items such as projects, epics, and demands, or goals, or any other entity, honestly, case, incidents, etc. And then they can also be directly prioritized in the strategic planning workspace. So if you want to use that there to create your prioritized list, that's another option. So before I get into the features, let's kind of look again at this sort of general flow of information from product feedback. So first, we have the actual feedback sources themselves that could be from the idea portal, the Outlook add-in, or manually created. It comes in as product feedback, and you have a nice overview tab here with like a dashboard view. You also have a list view to see everything. Then you might take multiple of those feedback items and consolidate them into a product idea where you're really formulating what that's going to look like and kind of thinking about how it's going to affect the product. And then you can connect them to a planning item. Again, that could be a project, demand, or epic, strategic goal, cases, or instance, so that you'll be able to easily see on that product idea, who's working on this. Is it by multiple teams? Is it connected to your goals? Is it connected to cases that have come up from support? And this is really important for coordinating across teams. So oftentimes when you're using different sources, if you have no way to connect it to your planning items, you could end up in situations where either no one's working on a specific feedback item or you have multiple teams working on it. So by using this product idea as kind of the central hub for how you're addressing that feedback, you can quickly see all of the planning items that it's linked to, who's working on it, and be able to address any gaps or overlaps. So this product feedback module is really going to empower you to make informed decisions, to develop customer-centric products, and gain a competitive edge. By centralizing the feedback and driving meaningful conclusions, you'll shape your product strategy and stay ahead of the competition. You'll also be able to streamline collaboration among product managers, developers, and designers to boost productivity and reduce time to market. So let's get into a couple of the features, and then you'll see these again in Debra's demo. So the first is this Outlook add-in, which is going to be really awesome. It is going to allow you to quickly capture feedback from emails, all without leaving your Outlook application. So you just install this add-in, which you can see on the right here, and then it will automatically create a feedback from your email, filling in the name, the description with the email body, the source, and then again, all directly within Outlook, you can assign the feedback type and also assign the feedback to a specific user. And of course, you could edit it to add any other details or add attachments if you need to. Now let's look at within the product. This is the feedback overview tab. So it's kind of like a dashboard. It's going to be where you can create new feedback if you need to. You can filter the data, which will filter those dashboards. There's a sentiment analysis section, and so that will provide an overview of public opinion to help drive product decisions. And you can see how the sentiment has changed over time in a bar graph over the past 9 months. In the future, you can use Gen AI to automatically tag the sentiments. Now this is the feedback list view. So this is going to show all of your feedback with details such as the customer source, the number of product ideas it's created to. Again, you can create new feedback at the top. You can filter this page. And then if you want to go and edit things, you can either click on it to edit from the side panel or click on the full details at the bottom to open it in a full page and see all of the information. So now moving to product ideas. So there's an overview tab for product ideas, but this is the list view that we're seeing here. So this is how you're going to be able to see all of your product ideas, create new ones, again, filter this. You can edit from the side panel. And you can also link your product ideas again to either back to different feedback items or to planning items. And now that last thing that's really cool that I want to highlight is our docs tab. So this is a new component that we have that's for product ideas. And this is going to be a central repository for collaborative documents related to product ideas, such as meeting notes, brainstorming, or research. These documents are rich text, and they also support embedded media like a live Miro board. So what you see here is not just a screenshot of a Miro board. That's actually a live editable Miro board. Any changes that you make in here will be directly updated on your Miro board. You could see if other people are in it directly through Miro, you'll see them here. So that's really cool. And these documents that are here are collaborative. So this is just going to be another way to use that product idea as like the central source of truth for this, for these enhancements that you're making on your product. And then the last thing I want to show is just kind of a conceptual diagram to let you kind of get a peek under the hood and help you understand how all of this data is connected and how all of the tables are connected. So again, we have kind of our source material. These are, feedback coming in from Outlook add-ins. They're the idea portal, or they're anything you manually create. You create those as feedback. And then you can either directly link that feedback to other items such as projects, epics, demands, or goals, or, and this is new in November, you can link it to any entity such as an incident or a case, or you can do kind of the intermediary step of linking feedback to a product idea. And then those product ideas can have product documents associated with them. And so all of these are many-to-many relationships. So you can have multiple feedbacks going to a product idea. You can have a product idea that's connected to a couple incidents as well as an epic and a goal. And again, that feedback can kind of leapfrog over the product idea and also be connected to a planning item. All right, that's it for me. I'll hand it over to you, Deborah.
All right, so I'm sharing my screen. In full disclosure, because I saw some questions coming in, about, hey, can you show this or that? This is a click-through demo that I did capture from a live instance. It just enables us to walk through more of the capabilities a little more rapidly to be able to show you more features in less time. But we can certainly discuss any of the questions that came in, like some of the how-to type questions. So let's get going. So this is product feedback. This is what enables product managers to have that single repository to collect all types of customer feedback. They can then link the feedback to product ideas for better prioritization and associate that feedback, as Irene just mentioned, to ideas, epics, demands, and projects. And that's what we're going to see as we step through here. So first, we're looking at the overview page. We see those top tags, the customer feedback, as well as different statistics. If I update this, so this will be automatically updated. It enables you to capture feedback or have an at-a-glance view to make those data-driven decisions regarding product roadmaps, marketing strategies, even customer service improvements. And you can capture feedback directly from your customers like Apple, Google, or any of your target audience, and capture feedback on any of the products or services that you're offering. Here we've got, some customer website, B2B. These can be business applications too. I saw that as a question before I jumped on here. So feedback on any products or services you may be offering off the shelf, internal, homegrown, whatever that is. And we can filter by any of these tabs up here. Feedback can also be captured by many different sources. So whether that's chat, customer meeting, email, and we were talking about that before. Well, wait a minute, it's coming in from a variety of places. But now we've got some consistency about how we're capturing that feedback. So for example, let's say we wanted to create a new feedback. We'll take a look at some of those others in a second. But for a new feedback, you can provide a standard form or forms. And in this case, we'll give it a name. Right, so it's looking good, and a description. We could fill out some other fields like source assigned to, and this is we can take advantage of the editing capabilities right up here too. So we could submit that feature. But again, it's consistent in terms of not only what you're capturing, so you can better evaluate and compare apples to apples, but it's easier for your customer to know exactly what kind of information to provide. The nice thing for your internal customers is that with that Outlook add-in, you can also submit feedback directly from email. So this is what it would look like when you enable that. It says ServiceNow for product feedback. So whatever they type in their Outlook email will be captured in the description field. It's automatically identified. The source is email. And then you simply identify the type of feedback it is, the product, and you can add any attachments. And this, again, helps to really streamline it, make it super simple for your internal customers, and really encourage them to provide feedback that maybe they otherwise would not have done, because it's too cumbersome. They didn't know where to do it. They didn't know what to do in the first place. So now let's take a look at the List tab. We can see all the feedback we've collected. We can see it by name, by various state, if it happens to have been assigned source. And again, this is configurable. We can add or remove fields. We can also sort it by simply dragging and dropping. Maybe you have an upcoming customer meeting, for example, with Google. And so we're just going to filter it to quickly zero in on all the feedback that had been submitted either directly by Google or maybe captured by Alejandra during a customer meeting with Google. And that way it makes you better prepared, more aware of anything that's working or that needs some attention. In this case, we see here that this Nexus settings looks like it's been completed, right? So we'll be able to talk about that with Google. So now if we go back and we select this feedback that was submitted before by our internal customer, now we're able to see it from the product manager side or whoever, or the team that's actually looking at it, right? And so we see what they submitted. We can see here's the attachment that was added, any collaboration. We can type in notes and easily collaborate with them. So it really helps to facilitate better collaboration with your internal customers. And of course, feedback is a great source of innovative ideas. And now it's super simple to also be able to capture and evaluate some of those ideas. So very similar to the overview of the feedback, we have an overview of the product ideas. And we can, again, consistently provide a form to be able to capture information about new product ideas, identify the product, we'll give it a description, fill out any of these other fields, and then we'll decide whether or not we'll say it's a high value. So it's super simple to be able to consistently capture information about that new idea, which makes it easier to compare apples to apples. And then we're easily able to see what state they're in. If I hover over any one of these, I can see that 37% of them are actually in my new state. When I look at the list tab, we can see that we've got a new feature, Moscow prioritization. So it's super simple to be able to see must have, should have, could have, or would have product ideas, like this onboarding portal idea that is a must have. So if we click in on this, we know that this is something we really must have. We can easily add some work notes and then, again, keep everybody on the same page with this. And the other really great thing, and again, because this is on the ServiceNow platform, we can also see for any feedback, we can see if there are any other planning items that this is related to. So for example, this particular feedback is related to this project for HR service management, as well as this epic for employee onboarding. We can see the different states they're in. We can also see any goals this feedback might be supporting, like this key goal for employee onboarding, a core company goal. And also important, we can easily link this feedback to any other existing feedback. So we can see that this one had already been linked to 3 different feedbacks that were submitted before, submitted again from different formats. This one was captured live, maybe during a customer meeting, this one in a chat session, this one in an email, but I've got instant access to similar feedback around this. And they might also be slightly different types of feedback. Hey, these 2 are enhancement requests, but this one happens to be an issue. But one single view, I've got access to more. And we could certainly link additional feedback to this as well. And then the last thing I wanted to show you, docs embedding. The nice thing about this, again, is that it provides that consistency. So you can add in different templates. This one happens to be the customer interview template, right? So again, it guides the user as to exactly the information you're looking for, what needs to be filled out. So it's easier to evaluate and compare one another. And then finally, we also have Miro board embedding, which really helps to streamline the collaboration of this. So you can embed existing Miro boards. So again, really helps to facilitate this collaboration. We'll just like this. And then we can link them to demands, epics, as well as projects, and then track all of this on the ServiceNow roadmap. That is my really quick demo of how product feedback enables this single repository of all your customer feedback, regardless of the source. And it's going to help provide data-driven insights into trends, statistics, how you can link feedback to product ideas, demands, projects, and epics. And all of this really helps drive greater innovation and value. So for our upcoming events, on December 7th, we have a Now Platform Adoption Workshop that will give you hands-on experience with our next experience, Gen AI, as well as workflow automation. So you really want to check that out. We've got some really exciting things on all three fronts there, but especially the Gen AI one. So just scan this QR code for details. John Lim has also posted the links to all of these items in the chat for easy access for you. We'd also like to point out our new name for our last Thursdays with SPM webinars. Now and going forward, our new name is SPM Academy Last Thursdays. So we're still sticking with the last Thursdays because they're on the last Thursdays, but you'll find it under SPM Academy, adding some consistency. There are other business units that host some similar types of webinars, and they're all called Academy. So we're doing the same. The first official act on behalf of the SPM Academy Last Thursday's team, John Lim, myself, and all of our great speakers like Irene, we'd like to thank our Last Thursday's audience for another great year. We delivered 10 webinars this year, and we hope you'll join us for our 2024 season, which will kick off on Thursday, January 25th, 2024. And of course, you can view this webinar again and access any of our prior Last Thursdays webinars on our YouTube Last Thursdays with SPM webinars playlist. Use the tiny URL in the blue box in the upper right corner of the screen. The playlist name has not changed. And you can register for any of our SPM and APM live on ServiceNow events all in one place at community.servicenow.com under events. I just want to say thank you very much, Irene. Thank you to my Last Thursdays co-producer, John Lim. And thank you so much to our Last Thursdays audience for joining us throughout this 2023 season. We'll see you on the Last Thursdays in 2024.